What is up, Fin Fam? It's Monday, February 16th, and that's right, the Miami Dolphins have made some moves.
All right, football fans, listen up. Forget the trade deadline, forget the free agency frenzy, because we have the most important piece of NFL news you will hear all season.
That's right. This morning around 10 o'clock or so, the Miami Dolphins, now that the Miami Dolphins, hold on, we gotta move the mic. Now that the Miami Dolphins have filled all of the coaching spots, and we're getting close to March 18th, be the start of the new 2026 season, the end of the 2025 season as we know it. It's time for the Miami Dolphins to start making moves on players. Who's in, who's out. It's as simple as that. We got 29 players hitting free agency this year. We're $3 million good on cap space after the moves that we've made so far today. And that's not counting the $24 million we're going to get added when the cap salary increases. But that's right, about 10:30 a.m. this morning, we got news that the Miami Dolphins have released Bradley Chubb. And then shortly afterwards, we get news that James Daniels gone, and Tyreek Hill's getting released, and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. So far, 4 players are confirmed to not be here next year. Now, Cheetah's the one that upsets me, right? I really wanted Cheetah to come back and be a Miami Dolphin next year. I felt like we could have got him on a team-friendly deal, veteran minimum almost, especially considering he's coming off of a bad injury. But this is good for Cheetah because now he gets to go somewhere where they could afford to pay him to be a good player. Because technically Miami Dolphins wouldn't be able to pay him more than vet minimum and still be able to put pieces around him to make him useful. And with a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's probably in his mind, he's thinking he wants to win now because he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. He doesn't have a whole lot of gas left in the tank. So he's in a situation where he wants to win now. And no matter what we do, I don't see the Miami Dolphins being in a Super Bowl contention next year, even though if you go by the Super Bowl logo theory, it is screaming Miami Dolphins, right? It is screaming Miami Dolphins. That logo just screams Miami Dolphins, from the colors to the wave, just all of it. And then the little poster that they put out with Jalen Waddle all the way at the front after the poster that they put out last year that had Darnold and Drake May at the front. And they were like, oh, they predicted the Super Bowl. So they're trying to say that it's happening again because Jalen Waddle's at the front. But even still, unless we nail this draft, we go out and get us a cheap win now quarterback, a guy that can win now and be cheap, a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I know y'all are probably like, Aaron Rodgers is washed. You can't sit here and tell me that if we could get Aaron Rodgers for $9 million, he wouldn't immediately take us into Super Bowl, or not Super Bowl contention, but at least playoff contention. Look what he did with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, not having any wide receivers, just having a bunch of tight ends who couldn't catch the ball, and one wide receiver that got himself suspended for the most important games of the season, even though they were still able to make it happen. don't forget, too, ladies and gentlemen, our offensive line is going to be significantly better next year playing for a right-handed quarterback compared to playing for a left-handed quarterback. Now, let's think about it, right? Let's think about it from a player's perspective. Put yourself in this player's shoes. You grew up your whole life learning how to block for a right-handed quarterback. So all of your motions, everything that you do is intended for a right-handed quarterback. So you learn how to block for a right-handed quarterback, right? So eventually everything that you do, it just becomes muscle memory. You don't have to think about it no more. That's what makes a person better at their job, when it becomes muscle memory, because the way that you learn how to do things is you learn steps by step by step. So your brain triggers that you have to do this step, so it has to tell the certain part of your body, hey, do this step, and then it triggers like, now you have to do the next step. Well, eventually that just becomes muscle memory and you do it. But when you have to switch what you're doing to go and now do it backwards, you're relearning stuff. So muscle memory goes out the window. So you're not as good as you should be. You could be a couple years down the line after doing it for a while. Yes, eventually it will become muscle memory. But that's why I feel like this offensive line is not as bad as people think. It really isn't. It's just that they've been... It's like we had rookie's the wrong word. It's like we had high school kids in here learning how to play football because they had to relearn how to do things. Happy Evelyn with the prediction, the Finns will stink again next year. I mean, that may be true, Happy Evelyn. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not going to be fact. If you were here yesterday when we did our AFC East expectations, we expect the Dolphins to do worse next year than they did this year. We did 7-10 this year, and we expect them to do worse than that. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad season for us, right? As long as we're seeing progress in the right direction, I don't think it matters what our record is in 2026 because we're in the middle of a rebuild, a real rebuild, not one of those half-ass rebuilds where it's like, oh, let's just change a couple coaches and a couple players and call it a day. No, we literally tore everything down to the bare bone minimum and started the fuck over. Thanks, Damakote. Yes, pray for us, Doll fans. We need it for sure. For sure we need it. But before we get too far into this, work stuff there. Before we get too far into this, oh, did she delete her comment? Anyways, before we get too far into this, let's make sure that we get our boring ass commercials out of the way. That's right, it's almost February 28th, which means the DCC 5K is almost here, ladies and gentlemen. That's the QR code. If you can, go make a donation, and every dollar counts when we're trying to battle cancer, trying to save lives. 100% of your donation goes to the Cancer Research Institute, Sylvester Cancer Research Institute, and 100% of your donation is tax deductible. So please, it takes a community to make a difference. So go be a part of the good community that's trying to save lives and battle cancer. We're less than $25 away from our first $500. And for every $500, my ass will be running a mile per $500. So go ahead and make me sweat, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't like using the QR code, you can definitely head over to our profile page right after you smash that like and subscribe. Look down in the links in our profile page. You can see the link for the DCC there. You can also see the link for our Discord there. That's a good place that you want to be. Discord is a place that you want to be. It's how you can get up here on the show with the AFC Eastie Boys, speak your mind, say whatever you want. It's also 24/7 access to the AFC Easty Boy community. Good football talk, parlays, bets, whatever, you name it. We talk about it. If you have a question, jump on there. I guarantee you somebody's going to answer that question. You also want to be plugged into the Discord for all of our giveaways, because if you win our giveaway, that's how we're going to contact you to get the deets so that we can send you your prize. We're going to contact you on the Discord, so you want to make sure that you are plugged in to the Discord. Another link that you're going to find on our profile page is a link to our shop, Charlie's Choice Collectibles. That's your one-stop shop for all your goodies, all your anime, pop culture stuff, football stuff that you're not going to find in your local Walmart or your Targets or your dollar stores, things like that. Great place to go shopping. There's always deals going on, so make sure you hit that link. You go check it out. I'm sure you will find something that you like, and it's always affordable and shipped straight to your door. It's also the place where you want to go if you want to get your customized AFC Easty Boy jersey. That's right, AFC Easty Boys got customizable jerseys on the shop as well, starting at $35, depending on how customized you want them. So please, hit that link, go on to the site, send a little DM saying that you want one of them cool-ass AFC Easty Boys customized jerseys, and we'll get some info from you. We'll get to working on it, and then within a couple weeks, you'll have it right at your doorstep. Man, don't get no better than that. We're almost at 500 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. We're less than 100 away from our first 500 subscribers, and that's a giveaway that we got going on right now. When we hit 500 subscribers, that's right, we got a nice 9x16 Mike Gesicki autograph photo that we sending out to one of you lucky viewers. And it's super easy to win, ladies and gentlemen. Super easy to win. First of all, you want to be subscribed and you want to be linked into the Discord. Those are your first two steps. Hit that subscribe button, go join the Discord. Then after that, all you got to do is be active on the channel. Like, comment, share. Make sure you tag in the AFC Easty Boys if you share it on any of your social platforms. I'm keeping track. And whoever's out there showing us the most love, guess what? That photo's yours. But we got to hit 500 first. We got to hit that 500 mark first. We almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We 98 subscribers away. So, go ahead. Smash that subscribe button if you're new here. You're not gonna regret it. I promise you. We keep you up to date on all the Dolphin news, all the AFC East news. We drop shorts, we drop jokes, I make music. It's a fun place to be, I promise. Now, let's get into this purge of the Miami Dolphins. So, by releasing Bradley Chubb, if that move is done immediately, the Miami Dolphins save around $31 million. We also released Tyreek Hill. That was to save $18 million. Because if Tyreek Hill was still on this team come March 18th, we would have to pay him $18 million. James Daniels, that saves us around $9 million. We signed him on a 3-year deal last year for $24 million. That's actually like, $8 million a year. And then we also cut Nick Westbrook-Akine. Those last two weren't real big losses, right? James Daniels literally only had 3 snaps for the Miami Dolphins last year. Was completely just non-existent. We paid him to do nothing. Literally paid him to do nothing. Same with Nick Westbrook-Akine. You know, he was our biggest receiver in the building, and he comes in and pretty much non-existent. And I kind of knew that was going to happen. You could tell from his first interview with the Miami Dolphins, he had mentioned the troubles of learning this new offense. And this is what I was talking about, having to learn a new offense to play with this left-handed quarterback we had. He couldn't get it figured out. He couldn't get a grasp of it. So he was never really good for us. Had a couple good plays, couple first downs. I think he had 1 or 2 touchdowns, but all in all, in the grand scheme of things, especially with Tyreek Hill going out pretty early in the season, he never really stepped up and did anything for us. So It was another waste of space. Kind of could see that coming. So both of those guys being gone, good riddance. Okay, right? Good riddance. Doesn't really bother us. Now, Bradley Chubb. Let's get to Bradley Chubb and Tyreek Hill and the impact of those guys, right? Now, we'll start with Bradley Chubb because I do think this was a good move, even though I do like Bradley Chubb. And if we could have figured out how to make it work for him to stay on the team, I feel like he would have been a good locker room guy, especially on the defensive side, because he is a veteran. He has got a pretty good head on his shoulders. He's not like an asshole in the locker room, so he'd be a good mentor for young guys that we draft in order to train them up, even if it was just for a year or two. But considering the cap hit that he would have put on us, it was a smart move by this new regime. Letting him go. We could find somebody. We got Jordan Brooks in the building. We got some guys in the building that I'm pretty sure they're going to keep around next year that fit the bill and fit the mold of the type of player that Jeff Hafley is looking for. Because we already know the type of player he's looking for, right? Jordan Brooks is literally the spokesperson for the type of player that Jeff Hafley is looking for. So the Bradley Chubb move saves us $30 million as long as they act ASAP. Now, if they wait to cut him, then that salary cap that we save goes down to $23 million instead of $31 million. So, but then we have Tyreek Hill. Now this one upset me, right? This one kind of upset me because I wanted to see Tyreek Hill in the Miami Dolphins uniform next year. I wanted to see Tyreek Hill stick around and play another year, pretty much retire as a Dolphin. And I had some interviews with Tyreek Hill. This was before the Mike McDaniel getting fired, but he had mentioned that he wanted to stay in Miami. He had mentioned that he was willing to renegotiate his contract, restructure his contract to stay in Miami. There was plenty of moments where he genuinely stated that he wanted to stay in Miami. Now, things, of course, change. People's opinions change. I'm sure that some of that might have changed when Mike McDaniel got fired. Some of that might have changed now that he's going through his divorce and all that baby mama drama going on. You know, maybe he doesn't want to be in Miami anymore because of it. I don't know. Either way, Tyreek Hill is not going to be on this team next year. So the Miami Dolphins will save $18 million by not having him on this roster come March 18th, which is another big chunk, right? You know, but it leaves a big hole on this team because now not only do we need to go get a quarterback, a serviceable quarterback, but now we need to try and nail a wide receiver in the draft because let's be serious, ladies and gentlemen, Waddle is not our number one. He's not a number one. He hasn't performed like a number one. So, we need a number one wide receiver now. We're hurting at wide receiver. We need too many pieces. We need too many pieces in this draft. So my question is, who's next? Who's next to go? We have, 24 more players? We have, 24 more players hitting free agency this year? Who's the next to go? Could it be Zach Wilson? Could it be Darren Waller? I think both of them are going to go. What about Minkah Fitzpatrick? What do you guys think about Minkah Fitzpatrick? Do you guys think that he's going to be one of the players that ends up getting shipped off? Or do you think he's going to stay? Answer the question down in the poll, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, right? If I was a GM, it'd definitely be Devon Achane and Tua, right? Devon Achane's got to stay and Tua's got to go. But how can we make that happen? I'm pretty sure Devon Achane's going to be wanting a bank this year. We could franchise tag him. But, I mean, if you're going to franchise tag a guy like Devon Achane, who's literally the key to this offense, you got to let him know that it's only a temporary thing, right? Hey, A-Chain, come sit down, man. Let's have a talk. You know, you are this team. I got to be real with you, bro. You're the team. The team literally is you. All right? And we got to keep you here. Well, we can't afford to pay you. You saw the whole stuff with Tua, you know, Bradley Chubb, all this, yada, yada. We're broke. Literally, we're broke. We want to keep you, though. So we're going to have to throw a franchise tag on you. Don't worry, it's only temporary, because we're going to extend you in 2 years, and we're going to make you the highest paid running back ever. But right now, you're just going to have to take a cut, bro. Because you don't want to just throw the franchise tag on a player that doesn't want it, right? Because we've seen this before. Players get franchise tagged, and then they underperform. We can't have that happen. Now, in my personal opinion, that's dumb if a player wants to go and underperform just because they get franchise tagged, but we've seen it happen before. So we can't take the risk. We got to make sure that he's comfortable with being franchise tagged. If not, trade him away. Because as good as he is, easily top 3 running back in the league. If he's upset and he's not going to play at his best because we franchise tag him, what's the point of keeping him? Right? We can just trade him off, get some draft capital, maybe get a player in return to fill the hole. It might not be as good, but serviceable. Because remember, I don't think we're going into this season with a win now attitude. We should be going into this season with the let's build the culture attitude. Let's get our core pieces in place attitude. Let's get this culture established and get our core pieces in place and build from there. Hey, no problem, Barrington. How are you doing today? So we need to figure out what's going on with Devon Achane. If we have to franchise tag him, so be it, which is most likely what's going to end up happening. But like I said, we need to make sure that he's okay with it, and it's not going to affect his play on the field for the 2026 season. And then we need to figure out this quarterback situation. I have no idea what's going to go on with Tua. I can't sit here and tell you exactly what's going to happen. I can't say that he's going to get traded. I can't say that he's going to get cut. I can't say that he's going to be here because like the number that is attached to Tua right now is too high to sit here and me make a confident evaluation of what's going to happen. What I hope happens, I hope we find a trade partner. Even if it's a trade that looks something like this, right? And I've been pushing this since last year. Since last year in week 9, I've been pushing this. Now, this was also, I was pushing this when I was under the assumption that we're still going to have a Mike McDaniel-led offense. But Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals are done. Just like the Miami Dolphins are done with Tua Tagovailoa. Arizona is in a dome, right? Kyler Murray is a mobile quarterback, not very great, but he is a mobile quarterback, kind of another small guy. His contract is similar to Tua's, just slightly smaller. He's like $10 to $12 million less a year. I could easily see just Miami and the Cardinals trading player for player, and the Dolphins just cover that excess salary, that extra $10 to $12 million to fill the gap. That would give us a serviceable quarterback, a more serviceable quarterback than Tua. No, I'm not saying that Kyler Murray's a world beater and he's going to come over here and he's going to take us into the playoffs. No. But will he give us good quarterback competition for Quinn Ewers? Will he help kind of solve our quarterback situation and our cap situation at the same time? Yeah, he will. He will. Will he allow us to not have to go and waste a pick on a quarterback this year and wait till next year and grab that quarterback in a quarterback-heavy draft? That way this year we could focus on D-line, corners, safeties, wide receivers, O-line, tight end, Eli Stowers. And then wait, and next year we grab that quarterback. Still have Kyler Murray, have him run. That's an option. I'm not saying that's the best option. I'm just saying that is an option. It's definitely an option that's been rolling around the Twitter spaces too. It's been rolling around ESPN. It's a rumor that's definitely caught some steam for sure. And I mean, it might be a breath of fresh air. It's a trade that would help all parties involved, including both teams and both quarterbacks. It'd give both quarterbacks a fresh restart, right? Tua gets to go to a new team inside of a dome, and Kyler Murray gets to go to a new team that actually has an offense. Who knows? That simple move could be all you need. Won't know unless it happens. Another possibility, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this because for some reason, the name makes them cringe, but he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, no matter how old the man is. And the Pittsburgh Steelers got him for $10 million last year. You know, we paid Zach Wilson almost $10 million to do nothing. A guy like Aaron Rodgers, if we were to bring a guy like Aaron Rodgers over here for a year or 2 years, you can't sit here and tell me that he wouldn't immediately make our team better. And better, I mean, to the point where we could be in playoff contention as soon as next year with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. You got to think, what did he do last year with a Pittsburgh Steelers offense that had a bunch of tight ends that couldn't catch the ball, one wide receiver that decided to slap a fan at the wrong time of the year and get his ass suspended for the most important games of the season, and Aaron Rodgers was still able to win those important games without a wide receiver, just with some tight ends and a running back, and a backup running back at that, because Jalen Warren was out as well. So he's sitting here running with Kenneth Gainwell, Jonnu Smith, Darnell Washington, and Pat Freiermuth. And he was able to beat the Baltimore Ravens and go on to the playoffs. Yeah, they lost in the first round of the playoffs, but again, he had nobody to throw the ball to, man. That's not the case over here in Miami. Now, we do have Tyreek Hill gone, so that's a big hit in the wide receiver room. But Malik Washington has some promise. Jalen Waddle is serviceable. Who knows what Taj Washington is able to do? We've seen D. Eskridge actually step up in crucial moments. Theo Weiss Jr. hasn't been bad. And you never know. We could end up drafting a wide receiver in the draft that comes out and becomes the next A.J. Brown or next Justin Jefferson. And a guy like Aaron Rodgers, we can get super cheap. Probably get him for like $8 million this year. That'd be what we would have to pay a guy like Zach Wilson to stay here. Be a lot cheaper than Malik Willis and would be a much better option than Malik Willis, in my opinion. Just because Malik Willis had a couple good games in the absence of Jordan Love last year, people want to sit here and put him up on this high pedestal that he's now the next Sam Darnold. Do you not forget this is the same Malik Willis that tripped over his own feet in Tennessee. Yeah. And we want that guy. We have people out here tweeting about that guy 10 times a day. Malik Willis to Miami for $18 million a year. To not be the answer. If we pull in Malik Willis, you know what that tells me? That tells me ain't nothing going to change with the Miami Dolphins. Ain't nothing going to change with the Miami Dolphins. We're going to sit here and we're going to pay a free agent this high money when we're already in cap hell for a guy that's not the answer. Could he be? Man, it's tough to say. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that down in the comments. If you're here afterwards, I still want to know what y'all think. Drop your comments below. Let me know who you guys think are some options at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Like I said, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind dropping Tua, dropping Zach, keeping Quinn, signing Aaron Rodgers, and then going and getting Taylor Green in round 5. Taylor Green's a big guy. He may be a bust, but he's a big Josh Allen type. So it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot to see if he can come in here and give some competition in the quarterback room. Let's see if anybody else has gotten cut in the last 20 minutes. Let's see if anybody else has gotten cut in the last 20 minutes. Yeah, so far just those 4 players have been cut. No one else has been cut as of yet. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm sure we will get more cuts over the next couple days. This week will probably be filled with releases. Like I said, we still have another 25 free agents for this year, and we don't have a whole lot of cap space. And let's go through it, right? Why aren't my Chrome tabs showing up? Hold on just a moment. Let's see if that one will show up. Oh, because we're not doing it in the same tab. Okay, hold on. Alrighty. Why aren't you sharing? Why aren't you sharing? There we go. There we go. Let's see if it comes up. Why aren't you showing up now? You've been disconnected. Boo. 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 Let's try. Alrighty. But it's not showing us anything. Why are you not showing us anything? It's just a black screen. It's just a black screen. You're not liking to show it. Why? Interesting. Alright, whatever. So it doesn't want to cooperate and come up onto the screen. So I'm just going to have to go back and forth and talk with you guys about it. So the next free agent on the list would be Zach Wilson. And then we got Kader Kohu, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Larry Borum, Ashton Davis, Liam Eichenberg, Jake Bailey, Benito Jones, Darren Waller, Elijah Campbell, Rasul Douglas, Kendall Lamb, Joe Cordana, Artie Burns, KJ Britt, Alexander Madison, Willie Gay Jr., D. Eskridge, Jermaine Ifedi, Daniel Brunskill, Riley Patterson, Caleb Johnson, Cedric Wilson, Jack Jones, AJ Green, Greg Dulcich, Quentin Bell, Cole Strange, Yadni Kajuste, Ethan Bonner, Julian Hill, Cameron Good, and Matthew Butler. That's a lot. Make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe if you're new. We almost at 500 subscribers. We got a giveaway going on for when we hit 500 subscribers. And now my because we got this page open twice. Let's close it. Let's close it. Let's close it. Chop is our only edge rusher. And he's not great, right? He's just a guy. How do you feel about these moves so far today, Joe? I'm pretty sure most of us were expecting the Tyreek Hill and the Bradley Chubb. And I think the James Daniel and the Nick Westbrook-Akine move is kind of just like a breath of fresh air, right? Because both of those guys were completely useless last year. But Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb, they weren't exactly useless. But considering the paycheck that they would have required to stick around, like, I can't be mad at the guys for making a business smart move. But some of the players that I do think are next, you've seen the silhouette of the quarterback. Most of you probably think that that's Tua. I wish it was Tua. I wish it was Tua. But that silhouette most likely represents the silhouette of Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's going to be next. And then Darren Waller. I really don't expect Darren Waller to return next year. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Joe. Almost 100% full reset. I've been saying this since it happened. Like, we're actually doing it proper this time. We didn't just try and fix the windows and patch the roof. No, we took it all the way down to the foundation and fixed the cracks in the foundation, rebuilt the walls, rebuilt them sturdier. They were built with wood before, right? You know, but now houses are getting built with concrete and bricks and mortar and steel. They're no longer getting built with wood. So now we're rebuilding the walls with concrete bricks. And we got a tile roof we're putting on it. We're going to put a tile roof on it now. It's no longer going to be shingles. This house is going to be new and updated and pristine. And I'm pretty sure these are all... So for your June 1st designation question, all of this is going to happen before March 18th, technically. So yeah, I guess it would be pre June 1st designations, but technically it's pre March 18th. So March 18th marks the start of 2026 and the end of 2025. So that's where the Tyreek Hill thing came in. Like, we didn't owe him any money. Like, he wasn't owed any money. But if he would have been on this team March 18th, we would owe him $18 million. And it's the same thing with Bradley Chubb. If we act now and cut Bradley Chubb before the March 18th deadline, we save an extra $8 million. So if we wait and to cut him in June or whatever, then we only save $23 million. But if we cut him before March 18th, we'll save $31 million. Yeah, I am at. So we've talked about how bad this draft is for quarterbacks, right? We've talked about it on Pete's channel and a few other channels. We've talked about how bad this draft is. This isn't really a quarterback draft, but we still need a fucking quarterback, right? The Miami Dolphins still need a serviceable quarterback. And yeah, that's probably why they're trying to free up some money so they can go out into free agency and pick up a guy. I just hope it's not Malik Willis. I really don't want Malik Willis. Be too expensive. We can get a much better option for half the price. And yeah, that option is Aaron Rodgers. out of all the quarterbacks out there, according to price point, Aaron Rodgers is your best option. Can't tell me that bringing Aaron Rodgers here isn't going to immediately make us 10 times better. He took a Pittsburgh Steelers team to the playoff last year with no type of offensive weapons. That's not the case in Miami. And to get him for $10 million or less, when we would have to pay Malik Willis almost $20 million to come here, and we don't know what we're going to get with Malik Willis. We saw 3 good games from him in Green Bay, and we think that he's a fixed quarterback. Don't forget that this is the same Malik Willis that tripped over his own feet in Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen. And we think just because we saw 3 good games in Green Bay while he was backing up Jordan Love, throwing to Christian Watson, we think because we saw 3 good games that he's all of a sudden fixed. He could be. But it also could have been a situation where he was just in the right spot, the right situation, playing the right opponents. I don't see him coming over here and playing a full 17-game season and performing like that all 17 games. I would say that we should use one of our high draft picks on a wide receiver. But I would go further down in the draft, Joe. I would go a little bit further down in the draft for my quarterback. I've seen that you're pulling for Drew Aller. What about Taylon Green, bro? Think about that. Think about waiting till late in the 5th round and grabbing a guy like Taylon Green, 6'6", 235 pounds. Yeah, he doesn't have all of the things that you want in a quarterback, but he's a big guy. He's like a Josh Allen type. Josh Allen didn't go high in the draft either, but he was a big guy, and he's serviceable. And with the right coaching, he has become MVP. We'll see what he does this year under Joe Brady. I mean, I really think the Buffalo Bills are going to take a big dip this coming year because of it, but Josh Allen is still a scary quarterback because he's such a big guy. He can do a lot of things. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one, Barrington. I am totally with you on that one. I do not want to see Malik Willis come to the Miami Dolphins. I think that'll be a bad decision, and that'll be one of the decisions that determines this my confidence in this regime. Because, yeah, they've brought a lot of people that they know over here, right? But, like, I've also went back and looked over these guys' careers, and I can understand why they brought them over here, especially the defensive side of the ball. Most of the coaches that we brought in, yeah, they're new to the NFL. They're young. They're fresh. They don't have a whole lot of experience. But if you go and you look at their experience of what they've done with the teams that they were on, their defenses were ranked in the top 10 in all metrics. And they were stingy. They would force turnovers. These guys didn't play around. Sean Duggan alone, go look at his career. He made immediate impacts in every team that he stepped his foot into. And there was an immediate decline in performance as soon as he left those organizations. Every team that he stepped his foot into immediately got better. And I mean, like, on the defensive side of the ball, like, they would go from, it would be a 70-yard per game difference, 10 points per game difference, 7 turnovers type difference. Like, that kind of immediate impact. And the fact that he isn't fully responsible for calling defensive plays gives me even more confidence, right? Because Jeff Hafley plans on calling the defensive plays. So this allows Sean Duggan to focus on players and coaching personnel, training the coaching personnel and prepping the players, make sure that they're ready for the schemes that Jeff Hafley wants to play. That's what he's going to be responsible for. And this is going to be great. One thing I am super excited for, ladies and gentlemen, and y'all have to get fired up for this. I want to see the fins up in the chat. I want to see the fire emojis in the chat. Smash those likes, hit those emojis, hit the little reactions, because I can see the Miami Dolphins defense going back to what it used to be back in the early 2000s when it was exciting. Like, no, we weren't great on offense. But our defense was smash mouth, shut down, stingy, just the star of the show, right? Most of the time holding teams under 24 points. If we can hold teams under 20 points, we have the opportunity to win every game. Because if you can hold your opponent, if you can hold every opposing team to under 20 points, you don't have to have a great high-flying offense. You just have to have a manageable offense. An offense that can be efficient. Doesn't have to be great. It just needs to be efficient enough to score a couple touchdowns and a couple field goals. We do have a lot of holes. We have so many holes. We have so many holes on the defense. We have so many holes on the offense. But that's why 2026, ladies and gentlemen, isn't about our record. It's about how we develop the team, right? How we develop our culture. How we develop our core players that are going to be here for the future, that are going to be training up the young bloods for the future. The ones that are going to be building this foundation and building this tile roof on our nice brand new 10-bedroom, 26-bathroom house, because for some reason nowadays people need more bathrooms than they do bedrooms, right? Makes no sense. I have 10 bedrooms and 20 bathrooms. But that's how our house is getting built, ladies and gentlemen. 20 and a half bathrooms to our 10 bedrooms. And then we have a garage, a four-car garage. We have a game room, a theater room. We're going to have the best house in the NFL block, ladies and gentlemen. Best believe. But it's going to take a little bit of time. We have to be patient. We have to trust that these guys are going to come in here and they're going to take what they've learned in Green Bay, right? They're going to take what they've learned in Green Bay. Green Bay, which has been a winning team, a winning organization for a very, very long time, right? A very, very long time. They've pretty much been relevant every year. There's only been a few years out of the last 4 or 5 decades where they haven't really been relevant one year to the next. So it might take a little bit of time, might take a couple years to get there, but we're going to see it. And that's why 2026 is very important. And I wish that last week they had a secret meeting. Jeff Hafley and Jay Sully had a secret meeting with some special guests, Miami Dolphin ticket members. I was one of them. Unfortunately, I couldn't get off of work to make it down there in time, so I missed the conference. So I don't know what they said. I submitted a question. I was really curious as if they were going to answer my question or not. My question was, with them being under the impression that they want to build through the draft and they want to develop young players, my question was, have they considered trading out of pick 11 to grab a couple extra draft picks for this year? That way some of these other free agents that we have, like, we can afford to let them go. If we trade out of 11, because, I mean, let's be serious, right? Like, I looked at all the players available in the first 2 rounds, and, like, the gap is not that great. You can trade down from pick 11, grab 2 extra picks, pick a little bit later, and still get a guy of value for us, because we have so many holes. You said it yourself, Joe. We have so many holes. And we don't have a lot of cap to play with. No matter what we clean up player-wise, we don't have a whole lot of cap to play with. So, like, we can't do too much in free agency. And that's why I like going and getting a guy like Malik Willis in free agency. Only hurts us because that's going to take up the majority of the cap that we're going to have to play with. Getting rid of a guy like Darren Waller and not re-signing him, that's going to help us out a lot. We need to re-sign Dulcich. We could easily sign Dulcich to a 2-year deal for pretty cheap. Probably get him for like $2 to $3 million a year. Sign him for 2 years. We draft a tight end this year. Hopefully it's a guy like Eli Stowers that's going to come out and be generational, right? We still use Dulcich next year. Utilize him the majority of the time. You got to build his value, right? So that next year we could trade him, grab more draft picks for 2027. We have Eli Stowers in the back, ready to go. We're priming Eli Stowers for 2027 so we can trade Dulcich, get a few extra draft picks for 2027, and build this team right. Because let's be real, what did Darren Waller do to this Miami Dolphin team? He wasn't ready by week 1, even though his agent said that he was ready. He wasn't practicing because it was mental things that he was working on and not physical things. But then we come to find out after the season was over that he wasn't physically ready. So his agent deliberately lied to us. So did Frank Smith. Glad Frank Smith's gone. Now Darren Waller needs to go too. We don't need to bring him back. He's going to cost, what, $8 million for a year? Off with his head. Let's get him out of here. Zach Wilson didn't do anything this year. He's going to cost us like another $6 million. He can go. Yes, I do think we restructure Minka and Brooks. Brooks especially 100%, because you heard Jeff Hafley and Sully. Basically, Sully, when he put out like the foundational pieces, Jordan Brooks was included in that. And then again, Jeff Hafley, when he was explaining the type of player that he's looking for, he literally described Jordan Brooks to a T. So, yeah, I think not only do I think Jordan Brooks is going to be here next year, I think he's going to be the captain of the defense. I think he's going to be the guy on our defense. Yeah, we haven't had great tight ends. We missed last year. Last year was the year for us to draft a tight end, right? We could have had a Dolphin prodigy on our team right now. 2 different ones. We could have had Mason Taylor or Rondé Gadsden. I would have taken either one of those guys. Wouldn't you? I mean, they both came out and performed well in their rookie year. Mason Taylor could have done a whole lot better if he'd been on the Dolphins rather than the Jets. Rondé Gadsden, he did great in an offensive weapon heavy offense over there. He still found his way to get his hand on the ball and make production out of it. And a team that has a lot of other options for Justin Herbert to throw that ball to. So for the fact that Rondé Gadsden was able to put up the numbers that he was able to put up, it's impressive. Tyler Warren, yeah, too. Like, game changer, right? Game changer Tyler Warren was. You can't tell me that it was Danny Dimes was the reason that the Indianapolis Colts came out so hot last year. No, ladies and gentlemen. It was the introduction of Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren is the type of guy that just did it all. Blocking, run blocking, pass blocking, catching, running, motion. Big guy. Go up and get those contested catches. Power through tackles. I think he even had a passing touchdown. This guy did it all. And there's a guy just like that available in the draft. And his name is Eli Stowers. And I really hope that the Sully's looking at Eli Stowers and being like, man, we can pick him up in the 4th round with a pick 101 or 111. We can grab him. That's the next generational tight end. Go check it out. I got the video of Eli Stower's highlights up on our page, so make sure you go check it out. I will be coming out with a few more videos of some other draft prospects that I like, that I want the Dolphins to look into over the next couple weeks. So make sure, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on, because you're not going to want to miss it. I'm going to do my best to keep you updated on everything Dolphin related. But I do work a full-time job, ladies and gentlemen, so bear with me. Yeah, having Warren and Jason Taylor just opened up so many options. It wasn't necessarily Danny Dimes. I mean, granted, Danny Dimes did come out and was able to orchestrate it all. But, like, had they not got Tyler Warren in there, I don't think they would have came out as hot in the beginning as they did. Would they have still won some games and looked pretty good? Sure, because Jonathan Taylor himself was having an MVP caliber season until, like, the NFL caught on to the Indianapolis Colts. Same thing that happened with the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins did the same thing in 2023. No one was expecting it. Miami Dolphins did the exact same thing that the Indianapolis Colts did last year. We came out in 2023. We shocked the NFL. And then it took about 8, 9, 10 weeks. And then teams started catching on, figuring it out, and we fizzled out. Same thing happened with the Colts. Teams started catching on, figuring it out. They started double teaming Tyler Warren. He's not as productive as he used to be. And their offense, their production, it just fizzled out. And it didn't help that Danny Dimes went down. They had to resort to old man Rivers. But last year was the year of the old man quarterbacks. What can I say? How many old man quarterbacks did we have last year? Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, Phillip Rivers, Matthew Stafford. I mean, Jared Goff is getting up there too, isn't he? So, it is what it is. So, we need to get rid of Waller. We need to sign Dulcich. We need to draft Eli Stowers. We need to keep Minkah Fitzpatrick, because I love Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's a Florida boy. He's a Miami native. He needs to stay on the team. He didn't want to leave the team, but he couldn't deal with Flo. I know my barber, well, my old barber, he's not my barber anymore, but my old barber is actually friends with Minkah Fitzpatrick, so he broke down the whole story to me for when Minkah Fitzpatrick left, and the only reason he left was because of Flo. It was the only reason he left. He didn't like how Flo talked to the players. He didn't like how Flo treated everybody. You know? But, you know, who's to say? Some people like that kind of coaching. Some people don't like that kind of coaching. At the end of the day, like, you do need to be a man and, like, just accept what you got. You know, you can't always pick your boss. You kind of got to deal with it. But I think he's a good piece. He's a good veteran that the Miami Dolphins need to keep around. We can get him. We don't have to pay him a whole lot. He's still got gas left in his tank. And he's a good locker room guy. Like, you could see him on the sidelines, constantly in the iPad between plays. So he's a good locker room guy. He'd be a good veteran to help train some of these young guys that we plan on drafting. Who else? Who else? Oh, it's getting that time. I gotta get back to work. I gotta go collect some water. So we'll definitely get back on here and we'll definitely discuss some more here in the coming days. So make sure, if you haven't already, smash that like button. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button. Turn those notification bells on, because it's going to be a fun off season. We got mock drafts planned. We got player profiles planned. We got your draft series planned. And of course, we're always going to be coming out with skits and random shit to try and keep you light, keep you on your feet, keep you laughing, keep you guessing. Because this is the AFC Eastie Boys, and you never know what we're going to throw at you. Up in the top corner right there. Oh no, one of your snails laid eggs in your tank. You better get those mofos out there. They're going to eat up all your calcium. They're going to eat up all your calcium. I'm having that problem in my tank too, man. My snails keep spawning, and I got all these little baby snails all over my tank, and they're just eating up the calcium. Eating up that calcium. So what you got to do is you got to starve them of calcium so that they go away, and then you got to start dosing your calcium again. But yeah, so we got the DCC link up there in the top corner. That QR code heads you straight over to the Dolphins Cancer Challenge, where you can make a donation to help cancer research. It's a tough world. Cancer is like one of the things that we haven't been able to defeat yet. But with the advancements in modern technology, with the advancements in modern medicine and technology, we're so close. We're so close. It's only a matter of time. It could be your donation that finds the cure to cancer and saves hundreds and hundreds upon hundreds of lives. There's no donation too big or too small to make a difference. It takes a community to make a difference. So please, if you can afford anything, smash that link. Go make a donation and change lives, man. For every $500, I will have my ass running a mile per $500, and we're less than $25 away from our first $500. So you could also not only could you be the one that saves lives, you could also be the one that makes my ass sweat. So there's that. Another 500 milestone, which we're almost at. We're less than 100 away from 500 subscribers. When we hit 500 subscribers, we got a nice Mike Gesicki signed photo for one of you lucky subscribers right there. It's super easy to win. First of all, you need to be subscribed. That's your first step. Your second step would be to join the Discord. That would be your second step. And then after that, like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share. I'm keeping track. Whichever one of you shows this channel the most love, helps us grow, I'm going to be sending it out to you. But the only way that I can send it out to you is if you're plugged into our Discord. And how do you find the link to the Discord? It's in our profile page. You go to our links. You'll see the Discord link in that profile page. And you just click on it. Join the Discord. That way we can get in contact with you if you win, get your deets, and send your winnings out to you. It's also how you get up here and you talk with the AFC Eastie Boys whenever we're live. It's always open. We'll let you know if the Discord channel, the voice channel, is locked at the beginning of the stream. But most of the time it's open, so you can join. You can chime in, speak your words, have conversations. And it's also 24/7 access to the AFC Eastie Boys community, where we love to talk football, talk bets, parlays, sports, whatever's going on in life. I'm sure if you have a question, you got nobody to talk to, you could type your question into the AFC Eastie Boys channel, and I guarantee you somebody will chime in. And then the last link is Charlie's Choice Collectibles. That's our little go-to shop for all kinds of fun things. Your fun collectibles that you can't really find in stores anymore. Your anime, your pop culture, football stuff, Pokemon stuff, like just all kinds of stuff. You can definitely find something for someone on that channel. And it's usually pretty cheap. We're doing deals all the time. Quick delivery, easy process, seamless, and fun, bro. Just fun just to go look through what we got. Like, we got all kinds of stuff. Like, you'd be surprised some of the stuff that we got on there. So if you haven't checked out that link yet, and we're always uploading new stuff too. Every day there's usually new stuff uploaded to the site. So make sure you got that tab pinned so you can check on it daily, because you never know when that item that you've been waiting to find, drops on Charlie's Choice Collectibles. And if you want an AFC Eastie Boys customized jersey, that's also where you're going to get it. They start at $35, depending on how customized you want it. all you gotta do is type in a little DM, be like, hey, I want one of those badass customized AFC Eastie Boys jerseys Cat always be talking about. And then we'll get the deets from you, size, customizations, names, team, etc. And we get to work. And then you probably get in about 2 to 3 weeks. Because, like I said, they're custom made. Just for you. From us. But it's been fun. Miami Dolphins 2026 offseason is officially here, ladies and gentlemen. The Purge has officially begun. And it's going to be a fun offseason for an even more fun 2026. And your AFC Eastie Boys is going to take you along for the whole ride. So make sure, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe. Peace.